name's Danny Irwin, and for my Old Testament research project, I researched Joshua. The first verse that he is actually mentioned in is in Exodus 17. It's verse 9, where Moses, um, they're at the Battle of Rephidim. And it says, Moses said to Joshua, choose some of our men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands. So that's the first time Joshua appears in the Old Testament. But I also wanted to research Joshua because I didn't know a whole lot about him. And going into ministry, he is one of the more prevalent figures of the Old Testament and Exodus story. So I wanted to know a little bit more about him and kind of the context and situation in which he was involved. And kind of the impact he had on the overall narrative and plot line of the Old Testament itself. Um, so in researching Joshua, I came up with the 3 points um, that really kind of highlighted what Joshua was. So Joshua, his Hebrew name was translated into Yeshua, which means Yahweh saves, and this was a pivotal theme throughout kind of his role in the Old Testament of how God used him as a general and a leader of the Israelites. As he led them into the promised land and to demonstrate almost through Joshua, as Joshua being a prophet, a spokesperson, and mouthpiece for God, that God is good and that Yahweh saves. Um, the next point that really stood out to me was the fact that he was a prophet. So he was revered as wise and very well worded, obviously, because he was speaking through God and messages from God. Um, and all the acts and miracles that he performed through God and on behalf of God as well gained him a lot of respect as a leader and as a general in the military as well. And then the third one, which was really interesting to me, was Joshua was also a teacher. Him and Jesus kind of shared the same title. Obviously, Jesus was more the teacher of the New Testament and, hadn't come to earth yet. So that makes sense. But much in the same way later that John the Baptist, everyone thought he was the Messiah because he was a good teacher. Joshua was very much a very good teacher, but also in that was a great learner because he learned a lot from Moses as well, and Moses was a great influence upon him on how to kind of carry himself and lead people well. So that's a little bit about my research project. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your week.